Welcome to Local 226 and 165, Las Vegas. We're very excited this week to have the Super Bowl. I think everybody in Vegas understands the total significance of that. The membership of almost approaching 60,000, we know will benefit from this, whether it's tips. By the way, you got to leave tips in the guest rooms too. But obviously all the work that will allow us to be, in my opinion, the hospitality center of the world this week is a reflection of our view of professionalism and the highest quality that you'll find in Las Vegas. It's great for the city. It's great for the state. Obviously, it's great for the fans. It's great for the Raiders. And it's great for everybody except many of the workers at the stadium where the Super Bowl is being held. Those workers who clean up, who serve, who take your ticket, or put you in your seat, they're not going to have the kind of benefit that many are going to have that are in our union, and certainly not the benefit of how the owners of the stadium and the NFL will prosper this week with the Super Bowl. Now, just a little history for everybody. At the time when the relocation of the Raiders came here, the state gave $750 million in taxpayer to the Raiders. At the time, that was the largest package ever on a relocation of a sports team. Many people in the state were questioning that due to the need for educational spending, for example. But as taxpayers, we were promised about good jobs, sustainable jobs, high-value jobs. And what has happened is this. If you look into the economics of the Raiders Stadium, it's one of the highest grossing stadiums in the country, whether it be football games, soccer matches, concerts, etc. Highly successful, and we're happy about that because that helps, obviously, our city. And there's nothing that sort of magnifies the difference in the economics than this week at the Super Bowl. Highest price tickets ever, enormous benefits to the casino industry, where we just negotiated a great contract. Thank you, 226 and 165. And at the same time, we have workers there who will be making $13 an hour and no health benefits, no retirement. Those are not sustainable jobs. That is a drain on the public coffers because they have to go on Medicaid, for example, or they have to work 2 or 3 or 4 jobs. That's the reality. Now, the thing that's so puzzling here is that when the Raiders were in Oakland, all these jobs were union. Not a problem. They come to Las Vegas, and they get $750 million, and yet almost all the jobs are non-union, and they're not good jobs. They're not the jobs that were promised us. So today, we're really very, very happy to be joined by the National Football League's Players Association. You might say, what's the Unite Here Culinary Bartenders doing with the National Football League's Players Association? They have been our steadfast supporters over the years. I remember during the lockout, about a decade ago, obviously it affected us because our members work in many of those stadiums and they were not working, and the NFLPA was great. And we wanted to support the NFLPA because if you think about it, what does the NFLPA fight for? Better pay, safety, health insurance, a retirement, and a say in their work conditions. That's what the NFLPA stands for. So their support has inspired us over the years. And I know today, if you think about it, in this struggle that we have at the Raiders Stadium, I look around to these workers here. The workers at the stadium could easily be the mothers and fathers of NFL players, easily. And if you think about that, these mothers and fathers cannot have a sustainable livelihood working in one of the most profitable stadiums in the United States. So we're calling on the Raiders to do the right thing. Allow those workers to unionize just like we did at the Venetian, the Fontainebleau, and the Sphere recently. Now, I'm really excited to be joined by the executive director of the NFLPA, and I think he's the president of the NFLPA. I'd like to introduce Lloyd Howe and J.C. Tretter, please.
Good morning. Good morning. It is great to be with my union brothers and sisters. I represent a unique union, but to the comments that have been shared, they're just like you. We fight for benefits, we fight for working conditions, and we fight to maintain those benefits and working conditions, just like you. Yes, it's a unique union, but nonetheless, very important to their local communities, such as Las Vegas. We have the biggest sporting event on the planet this week in the strongest union city, arguably in the United States, Las Vegas. So to me, there's nothing more valuable I could be doing this morning than talking to my union brothers and sisters. I've been educated, I've been learning a lot in my 8 months as the executive director, and I'm amazed at the parallels that face my union that you all are facing. Why is this important to my members? Well, when you look at the value of the NFL, there are really three sources. There's TV, there are the stadiums, and most recently, sports betting. So there's no accident we're having our biggest event here in Las Vegas. So stadiums. How does a stadium work? You all. How do fans appreciate the experience? Because of you. So if the concessions and the cleanliness of these venues isn't top notch, it erodes the experience of our fan base and our players, quite frankly. To the point that's been made, my members didn't come from silver spoons. Hardworking, single families, in some cases, no nuclear family at all. So where do they get that support? Right now, as young men from our union and the membership of our union. And so being here today is to reinforce that. Some of your biggest advocates will be Las Vegas Raiders. They're active in your community. They care about you, and they want and are being supportive. So it's no accident I'm here today on their behalf. And along with me is J.C. Tretter. 9 years in the league, both with Green Bay and Cleveland. And J.C., unlike me, has a degree in labor relations and understands even better the issues historically that unions and its members have faced over the years. So I'd like to invite JC up to share a few words with you.
All right.
So happy to be here. We mentioned the lockout, which was one of our most pressing, dire times. And who stood with us was unions, was the workers who stood with us in our most desperate time. And we always prioritize coming to stand with workers at their most desperate time. We as players stand behind you. We support you. We have your backs. And far too often the work you do is undervalued and underappreciated. And you're the ones in these stadiums giving our fans world-class treatment every single week. We need to be here for you. We need to fight for you. You all deserve the opportunity to stand together and unionize and fight for the things Lloyd talked about: better wages, better benefits, and better working conditions. And when you add those three things up, it simply equals respect and dignity and fairness. And that's what the workers deserve. That's what all workers deserve. So we are here on the eve of the Super Bowl, hoping that this push will be a game-changing moment for the workers to have that opportunity to gain that respect and that dignity that they surely deserve. So we're excited to be here to lend our voice, to stand with you, as we always will whenever workers need us. So thank you all.
Next, I'd like to introduce the president of the Culinary Workers Union, Local 226, a tireless fighter. I would never want to go up against her. And if you do, you're going to lose. So I know we're going to win at the stadium. Diana Valles. Diane.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Culinary Workers Union Local 226. And thank you for being here today. As the president of the Culinary Workers Union, I stand before you with pride and determination, representing the hard-working members of this Culinary Workers Union that there's the backbone of the hospitality industry. I am a proud immigrant from Mexico, and I'm 35 years members of this union. And I also can say proudly that I was a guest room attendant at those hotels. And we represent 60,000 members, and Nevada's largest union is the largest organization of immigrant, women, Latinos, Black, and Asian workers in the state. Only because of a union is a story like mine is possible. That's why our union works hard every day to secure better working conditions for all these workers. The Las Vegas Strip is 100% union, from the Fontainebleau, the Venetian, and to the new Ace Stadium. And we won't let any worker behind. So these workers, the Allegiant workers, deserve the same dignity, the same respect and benefits that unionized workers in this town have. The Culinary stands in solidarity with workers as they demand the right to organize and secure a benefits for future for themselves and their families. The Culinary Union calls on the Las Vegas Raiders, who receive a significant public funding for the stadium, to support these workers and ensure a fair organizing process. It is time for Allegiant Stadium workers to receive the fair treatment that they deserve. Thank you very much. I would now like to introduce to you these brave and courageous workers from the Allegiant Stadium. I'm going to start with Vicky Powell. She's a Levy cashier at Allegiant Stadium for nearly 4 years. Vicky, where you at, my sister? All right.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. My name is Vicky Powell. I'm a Levy cashier for going on 4 years. I'm here to fight for fair pay for all my workers, not just myself, but for everyone at Levy. Excuse me. I've been working there making $13 going on 4 years, and I feel that that is not enough for the way we work, the hard work, the long hours traveling to get there. I'm a dedicated worker to Levy. I worked there. I had 53 stitches in my ankle, but I was there at work on time every time they called on me. I'm a mother, a grandmother, and an aunt.
You know what, Vicky? They're just the same as you. Okay?
I know how hard it is to have to work more than one job just to make ends meet, to have medical and all these things, to take care of your family. July 1st of 2021, I lost my son. But I had to be at work when I should have been at home grieving and setting up my son's funeral. But I dedicate myself to the Raider Stadium in Levy to come in and be that worker that they asked me to be. And all I'm asking is that y'all help us get the pay and the fairness that we deserve due to everything we do. And thank you.
Thank you for being in here and sharing your story, my sister. Next person is David Martinez. He is a Levi cashier at Allegiant Stadium for 2 years. David?
Thank you. Yes. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is David Martinez. I'm a husband, a father of four, and a lead cashier at Levy Stadium, at Raider Stadium. I've been at the stadium for a little bit over 2 years. I've been working there. I'm a lead cashier. There's a little bit more responsibility. So we only get paid $14.25 an hour. In those 2 years, we haven't had any raises and no vacation, no health care, none of that. We haven't had the basic things that a lot of us union employees get. I myself work another job as a union employee, so I know, and I tell my coworkers, we don't have the basic stuff that we need at the stadium. Healthcare, work stability, and even sometimes even respect, because at Levy, sometimes we get a problem where people that just came in are working more hours than people that have put in 4 or 5 years, or as long as there's been people that have been there since day one. And sometimes we get people that are new that are working more hours than they are. I have a couple of coworkers that work 40, sometimes 50 hours a week, yet they're considered part-time. I've never worked at a job where you work 50 hours a week and you still don't get any benefits. I mean, if 50 hours a week is not full-time, what is? So for me, it's a fight for my friends, my brothers, my coworkers, for my family. I'm the main provider at my house. And to me, healthcare is one of the biggest things. I have a daughter. She needs a tooth taken out. If I don't have healthcare, I'm gonna pay $300-400. I've been lucky enough to work at another union job where I do have healthcare. So I tell my brothers, my friends, everybody, we need to fight for this. We need this. We're not asking the Raiders for anything out of this world. We're just asking for the basic stuff. We're not asking for over the top. Like I heard a coworker say, we don't want the whole pie. We want just a fair piece of the pie. We hear about the Raiders making record sales. Raiders is Levy Stadium, #1 in the nation, but yet, at least for me, for 2 years, I haven't had any increase in pay, any benefits. And a couple of days ago, I was asked if I was here and I could talk to the Raiders, what would I ask them or tell them? I would say to the Raiders, you have a union. Why can't we? Thank you.
Thank you, David. Next is Florinda Tulao. She is a Levy lead cashier at Allegiant Stadium. Come on, Florinda.
Good morning. I'm Florinda. I'm a lead cashier. I've been at the stadium for 4 years. I'm fighting for health insurance, for fair pay, and appreciation. How can we work full-time hours and still be considered seasonal part-time? I work the tours. I spend 6 to 5 days a week. I work 8 to 10 hours a day. We cater to both tourists and locals who pay for tickets to be guided around the stadium. I run concession stands for events, games, and handling snacks and drinks, in addition to cleaning up the stadium and restocking it. So even with that, I'm still not qualified for health care insurance, despite working full-time hours a week. So if I were to get the hours through Levy, I could qualify for my health insurance, which would be amazing. Because leaving a good union job, I worked downtown for 25 years for a position. So I left my union job to come to the stadium for the position, and I was disappointed because none of the promises and benefits that we were told materialized. It's disheartening to feel unequal and struggle financially with the Raider Stadium raking in the money. But we are only paid $14.25 an hour. Despite my passion for the team and this job, the reality is hard to overlook. And Las Vegas was told we will have real jobs with decent wages, and we were received minimum wages. So working full-time hours a week and juggling multiple jobs should not be our reality. Retirement seems distant, especially with the broken promises and the hope to retiring within 10 years would be more fierce. And if we were union, that with proper health care and pension and job security. Now, I urge the Raiders to acknowledge our contribute during the events and return the support. If we were to make every game day smooth and help the experience, why can't they ensure our well-being for the fair compensation that we do? And I just hope that, I know that they will come up and it will be a good job.
So, when I'd like to recognize those workers who spoke and those who did not speak, before we had this meeting, one of the workers goes, "If I stand up and speak up, do I jeopardize my job?" I will say this to the Raiders. If any of these folks have any kind of malarkey, one thing about the Culinary and Bartenders Union, we don't go away. We had a 6-year strike, 4 months, 10 days. We were just prepared to strike all over the city the last few weeks. These workers represent the very best of Las Vegas, and the Raiders need to represent the very best of Las Vegas and have these workers get the kind of wages, benefits, and rights and respect that they so deserve, as JC spoke about, and these workers. So I want to thank folks for coming.